All right, we're back. Preseason, August 9th, Friday games. We got 3 of them. Now, keep in mind, before we get started, if you're new to these type of videos, welcome, first of all. Otherwise, I record these a day in advance, all right? So if any news comes out, follow me on X, Loughy_D, Loughy_D, and I'll make sure to let you guys know what's going on. If we have anything that changes, anything significant, you'll know over there. But I'm trying to get this out early because a lot of times, and we've been doing this a couple of years now, lines will move pretty significantly. Just for the Hall of Fame game that we did last week, we saw significant line movement both on the over and on the spread well before that game started, but on the day of. So keep all of that in mind. Remember, feel free, make your own decisions. I'm just here to give you all the information you need and my picks as well. If you want to tail them, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. First up, we got Eagles and Ravens. Man, John Harbaugh. All right, broke the streak last year. But let's talk about this. The Eagles are 1-point favorites on the road, 34-point total here. Let's dig in a little bit, shall we? First off, Nick Sirianni hasn't said whether he's going to play his starters or not. He suggested that maybe he would, but he also said in that same press conference that he's taking everything into consideration, including the weather. That's a big factor here because the whole Northeast, I don't even call that the Northeast. I'm in Pennsylvania. That's the Northeast. But, Baltimore, it's going to be getting weather. It's going to be getting rain. I think he'd be a moron to play his starters. Can you imagine a guy that people are already relatively fed up with in Philly after an insane late season collapse and getting blown out by Baker Mayfield and the Bucs and in the wild card week last year, or division, whatever the hell, divisional round, wild card? No, wild card. If one of his starters went out there and got hurt because he's playing in rain or on a wet field in a meaningless game, God, that would look bad. Now, I'm not saying he won't. I wouldn't put anything past Sirianni, but I will say this. It wouldn't be smart. And also, he hasn't played any starters in the preseason in week 1 since his rookie year as a coach, since his first year. And also, yes, the Eagles collapsed last year, but they've never had an issue getting off to a hot start. This isn't like McVay being like, oh, yeah, I got to change some things up because he plays one third-string quarterback for all 60 minutes of every preseason game. No, they started off 8-0 in 2022. They were 10-1 in 2023. Meanwhile, up until last year, when teams were actively trying to snap his winning streak, see Ron Rivera, what he said when they faced the Ravens for the Commanders and beat them. John Harbaugh had not lost a preseason game since 2016. He was 23-0. He's 44-14 all time in the preseason. It's dumb, but it's real and it's ridiculous. I don't think the Ravens should be dogs at home. Like I said, make your own call on this. It's a 1-unit play for me. I'm going 1 unit Ravens money line, getting him at plus money, plus 105 on DraftKings. Here's the thing. Sirianni's 1-6-2 all time in the preseason, straight up. And while I think we see Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee, Will Grier for Philly, and then nothing great for Baltimore, Josh Johnson, Devin Leary, Emory Jones, this all just comes down to coaching for me. It comes down to Harbaugh versus Sirianni. And I'll go with the guy that has made us good money in the past. Give me Ravens money line plus 105 at home. Then we got Falcons and Dolphins. Falcons laying 2.5 in Miami, 38.5-point total here. No Kirk Cousins, likely no Tua Tagovailoa either. We shouldn't see really many, if any, starters in this game. And if you've bet the preseason, if you've been with me for a while, you already know that Mike McDaniel speaks in riddles that don't actually have an answer. It's just sometimes, and this is no disrespect to the guy, but almost utter incoherent ramblings when it comes to these questions. Because here's what it is. He's just intentionally obfuscating. He doesn't want to give you answers. But he also pretty much hinted, he's like, you're not going to be surprised. So he's hinted that no starters are going to play. And I don't think they will. Last 2 years, we haven't seen any starters. Mike White, Skylar Thompson, the same type of situation. So I'm personally most interested in seeing Michael Penix out there because the dude's downfield accuracy and ability to just drop balls into the bucket downfield is incredible. He's a really fun player. If they let him open it up against second and third stringers today, I think he could have a field day. Now, it's tough because we don't know how much he's going to play, but with Zach Robinson at the helm as the offensive coordinator, I think it can happen, right? Downfield balls, let him try and open things up. Even if they're kind of vanilla in the preseason, I have some interest here. Now, Raheem Morris already said that we should get a good look at Penix Jr. on Friday. Again, I'm recording this the Thursday at 12:30 Eastern time. How much that means, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a quarter and a half That seems fair, right? A quarter and a half or something like that. We don't really have much to look at from trends perspective on McDaniel in the preseason or more. So we just kind of know what McDaniel has done, what Morris says they're going to do. The Dolphins are 6-1 in the preseason all time against the Falcons, but that's meaningless shit. Like you shouldn't do anything. It's not actionable. Even if they're 7-1 after this game, that doesn't matter. These are all entirely different teams and coaching staff, right? Who cares? But from a quarterbacking perspective, I think I like Penix and Taylor Heineke over Mike White and Skylar Thompson. The question now becomes, how much Nathan Rourke do we see for Atlanta? Probably a decent amount in the second half. Not my favorite game, but if I'm betting this, I'm going Falcons minus a half a point in the first half, minus 115, half unit play on that. It's the same line pretty much everywhere. Falcons minus half point in the first half. I like Penix Jr. here, actually. And I think Taylor Heineke's more than reasonable as the second man in. If those guys eat up all of the first two quarters, we could be in business. And hey, I told you guys yesterday, if you still haven't jumped on board yet, if you're betting this preseason, if you're betting in the NFL regular season, basketball, Olympics, doesn't matter, make sure you do yourself a favor. Take some free bonus bets, $150 of them to be specific, every time you can. Don't be the guy that only bets on one book. Don't ever do that. That's why I'll always give you what book to bet here, right? Because you're going to get better lines all the time, especially in the preseason where you see a lot of swings from one book to the other. Right now on Bet365, if you're in any of these states right now on the screen, you're getting $150 in bonus bets just by depositing 10 and only betting 5 of that. I threw the link in the description. Link is in the comment. That's all you do. I bet an in-game at bat at 18-1. We hit amazingly. And that $5 that I put in immediately paid me out and gave me my $150 in bonus bets. Plus, because I'm in Pennsylvania and they're new there, I got 50 casino spins as well. So take advantage of it. Stack your bankroll, stack your bonus bets heading into the season. No better time to do it than right now. Bet365, link down there in the description and the comments. Third and final game for Friday, Texans laying 2.5 on the road against the Steelers, 37.5 point total. So D'Amico Ryan said he intends on playing his starters despite the offensive line being banged up and having a couple guys out. Kind of a tricky spot, though, because the Texans are one of only 2 teams this year who are going to play 4 and not 3 preseason games. But here's my guess, right? And you have to guess. With the preseason, you have to make what I like to call educated guesses. I think Ryans treats this game as like a week 1 of a 3-game preseason instead of week 2. And that's important because last year, as his first year as head coach, CJ Stroud played 2 drives in weeks 1 and weeks 3. But in week 2, he played the entire first half. My money's on 2 drives here. Now, rain ended that Hall of Fame game late in the third quarter. So I'm wondering how much Tim Boyle we might see. He had just recently come into that game. And I'm thinking fourth quarter maybe, but then you get Stroud, Davis Mills, and Keenum who take the bulk of the combined snaps, right? Like in the first half and then maybe midway through the third quarter. Mostly Mills and Keenum, though. I think two drives for Stroud makes the most sense. But what about Mike Tomlin's numbers in the preseason? Ready? How about this? He's Harbaugh, we all know about Harbaugh, but Tomlin's 18-4 straight up since 2017. And he hasn't lost a week 1 game since 2016. It's a little bit murky since it's now 3 and not 4 games, but those are good numbers. And I don't feel amazing about this one considering John Reese Plumlee is the 4th stringer and probably gets worked in a decent amount in the second half since Russell Wilson's already been ruled out, so they only got 3 guys and not 4. So let's have some fun with this one, okay? You have Justin Fields and Kyle Allen, who's actually started a handful of games himself, versus CJ Stroud and let's say Davis Mills in the first half. Game is in Pittsburgh. Tomlin wins preseason games a lot, and we know that. Steelers first half money line, plus 114 on DraftKings. We're getting plus money on the first half. And who doesn't want to sweat a first half money line? Why not? In the preseason, let's get it in and get out. We win or we lose. Who gives a shit? Half a unit on that one. So give me Steelers first half money line. Give me Falcons minus half a point in the first half. Both of those are half unit plays. And then Ravens money line 1 unit plus 105 on DraftKings. Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Remember on X, Loughy_D. We can throw the handle right down to make it easy. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Saturday and Sunday games. Good luck, guys. Peace.